So, as many of you know, my name is Kim Carroll. I'm the founder and director of English for Life Academy. And every summer, we take our TESOL certificate course and and a Spanish immersion course to Quito, Ecuador. And we're really excited to share this with you, and we hope that you'll want to come with us this summer. The last day to register is Friday. Yes, in 2 days, Friday. And so we're just having these information sessions to tell you a little bit more about it and hopefully answer your questions. You'll probably notice there is a place for you to watch this video if you're watching this on our website. Below it or next to it, there's a place for you to chat your questions to us. So please do that. And I will refresh this page and answer questions as we go along. If you've asked me something, but I haven't answered it quite yet, just give me a minute, because usually it takes me a minute to go back and check on everything. So let's get started. I think you can see my screen here. I'm going to show you some tempting pictures, I hope, of Ecuador. This is part of the old town of Ecuador. It's actually the street that I lived on last year. And it's the historic center of Quito, which is the city we'll be in. I want you to imagine yourself spending some time this summer in a place where you can challenge yourself to speak another language and learn something new, where you can enjoy the beautiful, beautiful outdoors. Ecuador is a paradise of all different kinds of weather and all different kinds of mountains and forests, rainforests, the Amazon, the coast. There's so many beautiful places. And to be in a really nice climate for the summer. I want you to imagine doing that and imagine coming with us. You can either get your TESOL certificate or do a Spanish immersion course, and both of them start on June 18th, so put that in your calendar. In case you're wondering, wait, where's Ecuador? Let's take a look on the little map here that I swiped off of a image file on the internet. And if you look in South America, that's right on the bottom left, there's a little orange country kind of on the west side, right below Colombia, right above Peru, and that is Ecuador. The little orange one there. That's where we're going. This is a picture of Quito. This is the new town of Quito, and yes, you actually can see that volcano on a very clear day. If you're in the right spot in the city, you can just look across the horizon and see a glimpse of Cotopaxi. It is the largest active volcano in the world, I believe. Hasn't done anything recently, but I think it's still classified as active, but there's no smoke or fire or anything. Here's some pictures of us in past trips. We will go to the equator line, and that's what we're doing in the top left picture here. There's a story about the thumbs up. There's a story about the equator line, or two, actually, in Ecuador, which you'll find out all about. And it sounded a little cheesy, I thought, when I first said, oh, okay, I get to go stand on the equator. But it's a very, very cool and interesting place. There's beautiful markets, and we will visit the oldest indigenous market in South America on your trip. The picture on the bottom left is one of the cathedrals in the old town. As you can see, it's gorgeous. Outside, the inside is amazing, and we can visit all the architecture that you like. And the final picture here is just another image of the Avenue of Volcanoes, which we will drive on as we get to some of our field trips and things that we go on during the weekend. Excuse me. So a little bit more about Quito, checking out that picture on the right. This is a picture of our Spanish school. So we're in the patio in the middle of the central area of the school. Excuse me. And I believe in this picture, we were having a fruit tasting party. We went shopping and we bought all of the crazy tropical fruits we'd never had before. Decided we should taste them all. So that was super fun. In Quito, you can see it's a pretty big city with a population of almost 2 million, but it's not nearly like Mexico City or anything like that. It's a very manageable size. The downtown, Old Town area is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the first city to be designated as one, I believe. And as I said before, I couldn't think of the word biological diversity, but there's so much in Ecuador. In fact, I think it's the highest in the whole hemisphere of biographical diversity. We partner with the school, Equinox Spanish School, which is in the heart of downtown Quito, pictured on the right. And it's a beautiful little place. It's family owned. And this school, these guys have been doing this since the 80s. So they know what they're doing. They arrange all your host families, and they really make us feel at home as we partner with them to run these programs. I keep talking about Quito, but here's a really good view of, you can see the new part of town and the old part of town. You will probably be living in the new part of town. We usually are. I believe the left picture here I took from the roof of my apartment a few years back. And wherever we live, we are close to the school, walking distance or a short bus ride. And it's really sunny and beautiful in Quito every day, just like on this picture, except for a few rain showers here and there. A lot of people ask us, why do we go to Ecuador? Well, it happened through a lot of serendipitous events, but there are also other reasons for it. It's a really renowned historical city. It's a beautiful place to be. And it's actually one of the top places to retire in the world right now, Ecuador is. Ecuador is a pretty safe, small city, but it has everything that a big city could offer you. It uses the US dollar. Yes, it does. Very big surprise to most people, but they use the dollar. Only thing is, everything is much cheaper than it is here, so your dollar goes a lot further. They use the same power outlets, so you don't need any converters or anything like that as when you go to Europe or to Asia. The weather is beautiful pretty much every day. In the season that we go, which is June, July, it's usually sunny. It might rain a little bit, but usually ends after an hour or so. It's about 75 in the afternoon. At night, it might go down to 60. You'll need a jacket, but the days are just gorgeous. There's lots of free Wi-Fi in public places, so we don't require that you bring any devices, but I know we're all kind of attached to them these days, so know that you can find Wi-Fi. And it's just a great place to learn Spanish. The Spanish is very clear, and is also a great place to learn how to teach English, because you get to work with the local schools as you do your practicum experience. We do a lot of trips. Every weekend, we will go somewhere with you. We do an excursion. It might be a day trip. We'll do one weekend overnight trip to a place a little further out. The pictures you see here are different trips that we took around Quito. The one on the left, we're at quite the high altitude, so we had to go get our hats and jackets on. The other one is at the equator line. I'll tell you a little bit more about the other ones. The indigenous market at Otavalo is amazing. It's so colorful and beautiful, and if you like shopping, you're gonna have a great day. And even if you don't, it's just gorgeous. You can try new foods and fruits. You can take beautiful pictures. Really gorgeous place to spend the afternoon. Baños is our overnight trip, and it is an outdoor paradise. Excuse me. Maybe I'll grab a sip of water here. Baños has all kinds of adventure things to do, like zip lining and bungee jumping and whitewater rafting and rappelling, mountain biking. There's great things you can do there. If you're not so adventurous, it's also really famous for all of the places, the spas for massage and facials and things like that. And it also has really cool history. The church there is really interesting. Whatever it is you're interested in, Baños has a lot to offer. So we'll take a weekend trip there. We may also go to Mindo, which is a rainforest close to Quito. And we will definitely go on a walking tour of the old town just to help you get acquainted and ready for knowing what the city is like, getting familiar with it. I'm going to take a second to come back to you and say hello, hello, and check and see if you have any questions for me. We go over here and refresh my page. So go ahead and type your questions in if you have any questions for me right now. I may say, oh, actually, we're going to get to them in a minute. Okay. Okay, I have a couple questions here. How are the families chosen for being host families? The families are chosen by the school, Equinox Spanish School, and most of the families do this year round. They host people coming from other countries who are there to learn Spanish, and so they're used to working with people who don't speak Spanish or who are learning Spanish. They're used to having people in their houses, and the ones that I've met, a lot of them I've met are just great families, all different kinds of families. Might be your traditional family, it might be single mom with kids, it might be grandparents and parents and kids. In any case, you will have your own room, and either your own or a shared bathroom. Okay, I'm going to head back to my slides so that I can keep telling you about these pictures. Okay. What does a day during our program look like? Well, the TESOL program and the Spanish program are slightly different, but you can see that they're almost the same. You will wake up in your host family house and have breakfast with your family and the other students in your house. You'll come to school in the morning. The TESOL course, we usually run 8:30 to 12:30. The Spanish course is 8 to 12. And you will spend the morning in class, either learning how to be an amazing English teacher and teach anywhere in the world, or working on your Spanish. Lunchtime comes after that. There's usually a long lunch in Ecuador. That's your biggest meal of the day in general. And then in the afternoon, you will, if you're in the TESOL course, you may be working on your practicum stuff, or you may have a free afternoon. If you're in the Spanish immersion program, you will probably be out with your teacher on an excursion around the city. The cool thing about the Spanish program here is that you have class in the morning, like a traditional kind of class with a teacher, and in the afternoon you go out on the town and you see places, you go to museums, and you see all the different things around Quito, which are really, really fun. The weekends, we will take you on an excursion. Typically, we'll do a day trip somewhere and then give you one day to rest and relax, which you will need, believe me. We try to pack a lot into our time so we don't miss anything. So you're going to want a day of rest too. That's pretty much what your typical day will look like. A lot of people ask me about the food in Ecuador, and I can't wait already. I'm excited about it. Ecuador is really famous for their soups, famous for their ceviche, and corn and rice are a big part of pretty much every meal. There's also amazing and delicious tropical fruits and vegetables. A typical meal would look something like this, maybe a soup and a salad and a main dish plate with some meat and some rice and plantains and avocado and vegetables and juice and dessert. That's kind of a big lunch, but that's kind of a typical plate in Ecuador. If you are a vegetarian or have any dietary restrictions, do not worry. We have had plenty of people on the program with us who do not eat meat. There's always plenty to eat. And the host families, again, are accustomed to your dietary restrictions because they're used to working with us. So all you have to do is let us know on your application, and we'll take care of that for you, making sure that you do not go hungry. Okay. Just a little bit more about what the day looks like. If you're doing the TESOL certificate class, this is the same course that we run in Greenville and in Charleston all year long. So if you're on this webinar and you think Ecuador is not for you, then check out our Greenville or Charleston programs. These are run as a blended course. That means you have about 3 weeks of class before we go. We will meet online with Skype and have some assignments to do. And then we start our on-site classes June 18th. We have 3 weeks of class. When you finish your class in Ecuador, you finish your practicum, you have finished your teaching, you have finished all of your classes, and you are ready to go teach anywhere in the world. There's a lot of information on our website about how the TESOL course works, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this webinar. You can always call me or email me and ask me any other questions that you have. The Spanish class, as I said, you have classes in the morning, excursions or activities in the afternoon, and you can choose between doing a 3-week program or a 2-week program with us. I know not everyone can get off of work for 3 weeks, so we offer the 2-week one as well. You also notice here that it says optional graduate credits. We have a partnership with the College of Charleston, and you can actually get graduate credit for these classes. So if you take the TESOL course, it's basically 2 classes of 3 credits each. And if you take the Spanish Immersion, it's 3 graduate credits. So that is an option for you. If you need those, want those, if you're a teacher and needs recertification, this works for all of those things. So we're getting close to what this is all about. Here's the costs and everything that it includes. So if you're doing the TESOL certificate course, the cost is $31.97. That includes your course, which by itself is a little over $2,000. All your materials and your practicum, we arrange everything for you. We have a course book. We have everything set up and ready to go for that. It includes your certificate of course. It includes your room and board, so you have your own room. It includes all your meals. It includes us picking you up at the airport and all your laundry service. It includes one of us being there and on site and ready to take care of you if you have any questions or problems 24/7. And it also includes all of our weekend excursions. That is the TESOL certificate course. The Experienced Spanish course, the Immersion course, you can see the prices there. 2 weeks is $19.97. 3 weeks is $27.47. And this includes your Spanish classes all day long. This is the highest level of Spanish classes, or I shouldn't say highest, I should say most intensive level of Spanish classes that the school offers. It is classes all morning, it's excursions in the afternoon. All of your excursions are prepaid. That means your entrance fees to the places that you would go in the afternoon, those are all paid for you. You don't have to worry about extra money out of your pocket on those. It includes your room and board, it includes your meals, airport pickup, laundry program director, just like TESOL, and also all of your weekend excursions, the transportation, the meals we eat there, etc., are all paid. The hotels, all that is included in this course tuition. So that's pretty much everything. There's a couple things it does not include your airfare. There's a reason for that. Everybody likes to travel differently. So some of you might just need and want to find the cheapest airfare. You don't care how many times you have to stop or where you end up in the process, just as long as you get there in Quito and it takes 40 hours, you just want the cheapest. That's great. I definitely have traveled like that in the past. Buy the cheapest ticket you can and meet us in Quito on the 18th. You may want a little more comfort and it's more important to you to not have any layovers, for example. Go ahead and buy your ticket. That's great. Get there refreshed. Just meet us there on the 18th. Also, we have people taking part in this program from all over the country, so I don't want to require everyone to fly to Atlanta so that we can all leave together. Just meet us in Quito. You'll send me your airline information so that I know when and where and how to pick you up at the airport. Okay, other thing, it doesn't include any personal expenses that you have or that you plan to spend. So for example, a lot of people like to eat their lunch out rather than going home for lunch. It's convenient. There's a lot of restaurants close to the school, and lunch out is roughly $3.50, like $3.50, maybe $4, and that's for a big lunch, soup and meat and vegetable and salad bar and juice and dessert. It's pretty affordable. And if you're someone that would just prefer to go out and try different foods rather than go back home and eat, then factor that in. You might be someone who wants to take a taxi everywhere rather than walk, or rather than take a bus or cheaper public transportation. Taxis are roughly going to run you $2 to $3 anywhere you go in town. Maybe 5 or 6 if it's after dark and you're going somewhere far away, but generally $2 to $3 a ride. So you might want to factor that in. If you like to shop, you can buy lots of really cool handicraft things for $2 and $3. But you can also buy really high-end leather and beautiful things for several hundreds of dollars, which would cost several thousands here. It's really up to you. So you know yourself, you know how much you like to go out and how much you like to spend. If you just don't spend a whole lot, maybe go out to lunch every day and buy a couple things every week, then probably $50 a week should do you just fine. Also, if you want to do the graduate credits, there's money that we have to pay to College of Charleston for you to do that. So it is $300 for the 3-credit course, and it's $450 if you want the 6 credits for the TESOL. That's it. You're going to have to go online and register with them, but other than that, you're all set to go and you'll get the credits. Okay. So let me flip back and see if you have questions. Please type me your questions. I'm gonna get out of the screen share so you can see my face again for a minute. And let's see what questions you have. You refresh my screen. A little slow here, so give me a second. Okay, another question I have here is, what level of Spanish do you have to be at? You can be at any level of Spanish at all. That means you can be a beginner with no Spanish at all. That's fine. It's not a problem. We have a class for you. You can be a Spanish teacher. Actually, I've had native Spanish speakers go and do program before, and they focused on learning culture and history and politics of Ecuador. So they got to read Ecuadorian literature and talk about all things Ecuador. So they weren't learning Spanish as much as they were about Ecuadorian culture. We can accommodate all levels. On the first day of class, you will come and take an evaluation, like a pre-test, to see what level you're at. And then from there, place you with the teachers. Also, the classes are really small, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 people in a class. But generally, it'll be just you and 1 other person or so and your teacher. So think about how much this costs here. If you take a private language class with someone, it's generally $35 to $85 an hour. And so you're getting 4 hours a day pretty much for the whole time you're there, plus the afternoons as well. So any level is welcome and fine. And let me see if I have any other questions here. The cost, okay. We already talked about that. Great. Cool. So let me get back over here and share my screen. If you are ready to say yes, you want to go with us, and I hope you are, and I hope you do, you can go right over to our website and register. But you also, if you have other questions, just schedule a time to talk to me. I'm going to put my email up next, or just hit reply to any of those emails that you got telling you about this webinar. Let me know. I'll talk on the phone with you and answer any other questions you have to make sure that this is a good fit for you. You can register for the program. Once you're registered, I will be sending you lots of stuff. We send lots of information, and we also have an orientation session together so that you know who you're traveling with, and we can answer your questions and talk a little bit more about Ecuador. I'll send you packing lists and Spanish places to practice your Spanish, lots of different things. So be ready for that. And then all you have to do is pack your bags and meet us in Quito, and we are ready to have a great summer with you. Again, the application is April 1st. That is in 2 days. So if you really want to do this, please, please, please give me a call, because I want to talk to you and I want to know how to help you get there. This is my contact information. I don't know if you can copy and paste it, but you can just jump over and type it into an email now or hit reply to any of the emails that came to you telling you about this thing happening today. Couple last minute pictures. You saw the equator one already, but on the right here, this is an amazing place that we'll visit. And every year I tell myself, nah, I don't have to climb all the way to the top. And every year I do because it's just so beautiful and amazing. And I hope to share it with you this summer. That's about all I have for you. I'm going to check one more time and see if anybody has questions. Let me go ahead and do that. And I hope to hear from you. I hope you send me an email or give me a phone call before April 1st so we can get you registered. And I hope to see you in Quito. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.